Welcome back, everybody. In this video we are going to be unwrapping the UVs of our spaceship. So by now you should be all the way done modeling your ship, and you're probably wondering, what the heck are UVs? We've never mentioned this before. Why can't I just color it in? And while you could just add some kind of material to this, it wouldn't be near as cool. I mean, you can't even go in and I should have deleted my history first. There we go. So I can add whatever color I want to this. I can make a hot pink ship if I wanted to. I can even go in on a per face basis and assign a material. Sorry, that was Lambert 1 again, off of the bottom. But I mean, this isn't what real professional modelers do, and we couldn't do things like add in a hatch as a material, or like a sticker or something like that that goes in a specific spot. I can't add any scratches or really in any of the cool things that a lot of times are done just as textures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the UVs look like right now. So if you go up to Windows, there's the UV editor. And this is what my spaceship looks like to the computer. So let me try to explain what UVs are. They are a 2D coordinate for all of your polygons. So when we talk about unwrapping UVs, and one way to visualize it is basically taking the skin off of our model and then laying them all out flat. Just like if you see a map of the world, that's basically a UV unwrap of the globe. There's always going to be some kind of distortion, but we want to try to minimize that as much as we can. So in Maya, well, I've installed the Maya bonus tools to help us out. They have a UV unwrap tool. Alright, so before we enter our UV tool, we need to make sure that a certain plugin is loaded, because I actually went through and did this and then I found out it was broken, and I'm going to try to edit this together so that it's not totally out of whack. So let's make sure that that plugin is loaded first. So go up to Windows, Settings, Preferences, and then go to the Plugin Manager. We're looking for something called Unfold3D.bundle, and these are in alphabetical order. So it should be under this first one that has like the big list. We're coming all the way down the bottom to the U's, and make sure that loaded and auto load for Unfold 3D are checked, and you can close that. This is my menu is truncated because I'm on a laptop, my screen's really small, and so I can't, it can't display everything right here. But under bonus tools, under UV editing, there's the auto unwrap UVs tool. So this little dialog box is going to pop up, and pretty much everything's good to go as we're going to use it. So go ahead and click on Enter Tool and close. And now if you had your object selected, it'll turn kind of green like this. If not, it'll ask you, hey, select the mesh that you want to start unwrapping. So you do that and click on Continue, and you should get here. Now this is telling us to predefine edges for texture borders. So what it's asking us to do is to select the edges of where we want to cut and separate our ship or our object. And then later it'll go and unwrap all of that. So I am going to select all the edges here on the bottom of my ship, and this is going to be different for you. We have to figure out what the best way to essentially cut your ship apart is going to be. I'm going to try, nope, not that one. I'm going to try first cutting off the bottom of my ship. And this is not like actually physically cutting off, these I'm taking the UVs off the bottom. So that will be one, it's called a UV shell. That'll be one shell. Let's see. The engine needs to be its own thing. And as you do this, it's best to click on the Add Borders button here. It'll highlight those a little bit brighter red. So in case you accidentally click off of something, you don't have to go reselect everything again. Let's see, where else? So probably my fin should be its own thing. So I can add those borders. And then we need ways, or we need to give it a way to actually unwrap. So if it tried to unwrap this, like my back fin here, as it is, it would look bad. We need a way to kind of slice that up this way so that it'll allow it to cut it there, and that would split left and right. Same thing here. We want to cut down the back of our ship. You want to try to hide these borders as best you can. I clicked something wrong. Please undo. Add borders. There we go. I think I clicked remove borders and it said those aren't borders. Let's see, what else have we got? Alright, so we're trying to hide. They need to go in natural places, so like around the cockpit is a good place to have a UV border. And I'm actually going to do both sides. So that, I talked about that being a metal bracket for the glass to fit into. I'll go ahead and split it around both sides. Let's see. Oh, we also need, all the guns need to be separate. You can still do double click to select edge loops, which makes my life a lot easier around these guns. So we'll add those in. And since I need this to lay flat, I also want to select the bottom part. And this is what I'm talking about hiding. Oops, not that. I'm talking about hiding these the seams here. We're going to see this really only from the front or from the top in our game. So the more that I can hide these borders, so like on the bottom of an object is a really good place for them if you're only going to see it from the top. So same thing here. This needs to, these cylindrical objects need a place so that they can be cut open. And that should do it. And then once you get all of your edges selected, all the borders, you can go ahead and click on Continue, and it should. Let's find out. I'm trying to set up my viewport right here so we can try to see what happens. Everything's going to go inside this first quadrant of this coordinate system. Alright, so we're going to click on Continue, and we should watch a lot of stuff happen over here. I'm not going to go into exactly what it's doing, but a lot of our stuff is unwrapped for us now. So it's telling us to check the results in the UV editor. And here are my results. If I can, you navigate the UV editor kind of the same way you would like an orthographic view. Alt middle click lets you pan, Alt right click lets you zoom, and actually Alt left click also lets you pan because this is only a 2D view. So what we've got here is you should be able to kind of see some of this stuff. I'm going to actually turn off this button right here, display the image, so I'm going to hide that section there. And so you can see here is the top of my ship. There's where the cockpit is cut out. There's the cockpit there and that ring, the bottom of my ship. Now I'm going to look at some of this stuff. This is my tail fin. I may want to slice that a little better. Let me turn that image back on, and in my viewport I'm going to hit 6 on my keyboard to actually show this image here. And so what I'm looking for are all these checkers. I'm looking to make sure that these checkers are nice and straight and not distorted. So like here, this area, this is all kind of distorted. It looks pretty good. Well, it kind of looks okay in here. All along here, this is all pretty distorted. So what you may have to do is come back. Actually, I want to see, what are these? If you select, you can select edges here, and it also will select them in 3D space. So yeah, I need to come back and add in a lot of stuff. Sorry, I need to add in some more borders. Because it's just not going like I want it to. So I can click on, let's get that out of the way. I can click go back. This is saying, we already have unfold 3D node. Do I want to continue? Yes. And so then I can still come back in and I can add in some borders here. So this is pretty badly distorted here, so I'll add a border there. On the front of my guns I can add these borders in, and that should help. All over here also. Let's cut these off here. The wings are pretty distorted back here. You know what? Let's also do it on the bottom here so that it gets a little better. And I'm just trying to revise where these borders are going. Let's also, we can split this up the side here a little bit on the engine. And again, when you're happy, you've added some more borders in. You just click continue again. It'll run through its series of actions. And now when I look here, this is looking a lot better. So you can go ahead and click on done, and once you get a nice looking UV map here, then you can save, and then we'll go into how to pull this into Photoshop and actually start painting a texture.